So many times I feel like a failure as a father. Sometimes even if nobody's saying anything else, look in the mirror, look on yourself, and realize you are doing a great job. I started to fret that I wouldn't be able to breathe.
Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild. Stuff from the cuffs is here to make things bright. In a world so dark, they're bringing some light. Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. Go Bria, go Bill, go Bess, go Brian. Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs.
It's Father's Day, it's Father's Day. I'm wishing you all the blessings that comes your way. It's Father's Day, it's Father's Day, it's Father's Day, or so they say. But when we look upon the road, we are not seeing the gifts lining the streets. We're only hearing about the bad deeds. We're only seeing the fathers when they weep. What about the fathers that we hold dear and the fathers that we keep? It's Father's Day, it's Father's Day, it's Father's Day, hip hip hooray. Cufflinks, tenants in the building. What's up? Welcome to Stuff from the Cuffs, where we bring the fire. We're fun, we're inspirational, we're real, and we're educational. But there's no we today, it's me. It's Father's Day 2023. And I want to say big ups to all the fathers out there. We get a lot of flack, we get a lot of criticism. But big ups to all of you who are doing the thing. Not just daddy duty, but living the life. Yeah, it's not just a day or a weekend or you get the night. But it's a continual thing where you're making your presence felt and not just providing presents. Speaking of presents, I got some presents this morning. Watch this. So Bria said I must follow her blindfolded. Close my eyes.
Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild. Stuff from the cuffs is here to make things bright. In a world so dark, they're bringing some light.
Bam! Bam! All of these, I love them. And when me touch the road, I'm here on the ground. Yeah, I need to find some places to go now. I love them. I love them. I love them. Walking on air, comfort, style, class.
Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild. Stuff from the cuffs is here to make things bright. In a world so dark, they're bringing some light. Stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs, stuff from the cuffs. Go Bria, go Bill, go Bess, go Brian.
I was at home, and within probably about 30 seconds, my nose just got stuffed up, both nostrils. My chest just got really tight, could hardly breathe. And I started itching and bumps came up all over. And I started to fret that I wouldn't be able to breathe. And I started panicking to an extent. And I messaged Bas to take some medication for me, some antihistamine and some allergy medication that she has. And I lay down for about 30 minutes worrying, wondering what was happening, if I needed to rush to the hospital. But I fell asleep. I woke up the next day feeling really woozy, really weak. But I'm grateful I'm still alive.
Start from the coast. Start from the coast.
Wow. I'm truly grateful and blessed. But most importantly, I am blessed to have the two most amazing gifts in the world. Two of the most precious daughters ever. Hashtag girl dad all the way. But you know, I was a part of a panel discussion recently. I hosted it. Big ups to me for hosting. Landed a hosting gig with JN, and I'm gonna be a part of 3 weeks. We'll see how the future goes, but the 3 weeks, and the first one we did was looking at from boys to men, looking at modern day masculinity. And check out these clips and tell me what you think.
I'm a giver. And growing up in church, you hear, give of yourself. But my type of giving of myself is even to my detriment sometimes. And so I've learned that to say no is okay. No, it's okay. It's rough sometimes, so the no might not come out. It's more like, let me get back to you. But start somewhere, because self-preservation is key. But the self-preservation is not just for yourself, it's for the sake of your family and your children. So know when to say no. And it's not just with doing favors, but also when it comes on to work. I think it's important to know when to stop and take it easy. And I think that's something I had struggled with until burnout stepped in, and the burnout affected everything and everyone. So I just wanted to mention that I think that is very important.
So men have to know that, because when you're burnt out, you can't say, no, mom, you deal with it. I'm fine. But burnout now affects your relationship with your children, relationship with your partner, relationship with your workplace, relationship
everything.
with church, and so many men in church.
Burnt
Work, burn out, family life gets destroyed, relationship get destroyed.
Yeah.
And then they are left, sadly, by some of the churches left by themselves. And the same church will say, what, you never see so and so and so. You know, practice a yard before you practice abroad. I say, learn to press the brakes and take a break before you break.
All right, sir.
And I've come close to breaking. I think all the men on this panel at some point in time, because of how Stefan made mention of it earlier, when he lost mom and got married, then PhD, then just keep going. If we don't press the brakes, we are gonna break. And that is what is affecting a lot of our families. We are broken men in a marriage trying to fix it and to make it whole.
Yeah, try to keep it together. Yeah, it doesn't work. I am so used to doing things for my family and not being away from my family, that I remember, based on the nature of what I do, I tend to go to a lot of meetings and stuff like that. And in those meetings, you really get, let me use it, for example, a nice hotel and a meal and stuff. I would feel guilty.
Wow.
I would feel guilty because I don't know if it's want or should. My children should be experiencing this. And I had to speak to myself and say, no, it's okay. And also I want to say this, that it's okay to, when you work your money, to spend something for yourself. You understand? It is okay to do that. And I think this notion of, if you buy something for yourself, you're robbing your children. I think that is wrong. You know, again, that's why it's good to have a community, because I link up with a brethren, as Doc said, and when you say you want to implement a Saturday, you can run these things by a brethren, and a brethren can say, no, man. You know, it's important to have that community to help. But just to say, I was I was at that place. Fortunately, I have a wife who give me that space because I give her that space as well. But I remember that affected me so much until I had to read that thought. I said, no, man, not because you're eating a nice cocktail mean say, boy, don't eat it, or me say we can carry up some for your youth type of thing. Yeah, you can do that, yes. But the point is, don't feel guilty.
That's right.
Especially when you're not a bad, it's okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to make mention.
And I see Colette saying a lot of our men are so broken. I want us to understand the minds of our men. And the pressures, heavy is the head that wear the crown. Our men are going through this and worse. The first time I got a manicure, I remember growing up, I said, I'll never get a manicure or a pedicure. That's not for me. That's not for men. Only time I'm going to do it is when I'm getting married. Yeah, the day before or the 2 days before my wedding, that was the only time I should. Nails would grow, and if it would cut, you just break it off.
No, man. Yeah. Brian, about 2 months ago, I got a manicure, pedicure. Yeah. When I used to teach early 2000s, I got one for Teachers Day. They went up the staff. I've never received one until 2 months ago, and it's my wife said to me, I booked something for you. And when I went, Brian, I fell asleep.
Yes, man.
I said, I feel good.
Yes, man. Where's the feeling in the chair?
I fell asleep. I said, no, man. I can't, so tired. Man, for take care of themselves. Yeah. And big up to the wife, them recognize it and make the appointment for the man. Them sometimes we need that too.
Yes, listen. The first time I did a pedicure was because of my wife, man. Listen, man. Trust me.
Big up to the good woman, them.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. and my wife, she's instilled in my life something called husband. Every day. So all the women out there and all the men out there, make sure the women them know this. Every year, I don't know when, I don't know where, we have a husband day where it is just my day. She surprises me. I remember one year I went home and she says, pack your stuff, we're leaving in the morning. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
In this day and age, you have more men who are actually willing and stepping up to be fathers than before. There was an issue with fathers, with men having a lot of children, but not necessarily fathering them. Right? But that is changing.
Yeah,
you have more men who are excited, eager, giving their all, right, to be fathers. There's so much want to be in the child's life in every single way. So it is changing. So I do feel like the public narrative needs to change, right? The public narrative needs to change. And please, when Father's Day come, as much as many people have been raised by single parents and single mothers, please don't make the post big up to the mother who big up to my mother on Father's Day. I mean, it does more harm than good.
It's gonna happen. I'm glad you said it.
Regardless. I'm
glad you said it.
And just a point too. I mean, Doc does the research, but even anecdotally, observation at the antenatal clinics, you will see, and I've spoken to practitioners there, gynecologists, etc. They see more fathers. You go to the PTA meetings, more fathers. In fact, Dr. Herbert Gale himself said data points to, since independence, more father presence. Mark you, we understand that fatherlessness does not necessarily mean the absence of daddy from the home, because daddy can be there but very much absent. And you alluded to that. So we understand that. But there, we must give props, because I think a particular generation is being a bit more deliberate in making effort to be present and to be effective as fathers.
And that's where we're going next. Some of the positive aspects of modern day masculinity that you believe should be celebrated and encouraged. So before you continue on that, I pick up my girls at school a lot of the times, and when I go to pick them up, and I pick up one before the next, and we usually go on the playground to wait for the other one.
And you want to go on the playground, Brian?
I mean, not around to swing 2 times. I mean, come on. All the men in here who swing for swing, hands up. All of them, all right.
Yeah. So swing with caution. Definitely.
But it's a lot of men on the playground with their children.
Oh, yes.
And I always make posts about it on IG. I am happy when I see that, They are making the effort to change the narrative. They're making the effort to not be what their fathers were or were not, or their uncles or whoever. So what else? Quick video, wrapping it up. See how I look like my glow? My girls gave me a little glow up today. And it's not what I'm used to, but I enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'm grateful for it. as they said, there's a lot that weighs on our minds as men, and sometimes we worry that we are failures and not father figures. And it's hard. It's hard trying to. A lot of times, men try to match up to who society says is the ideal father, or a lot of times they try to match up with being what is showcased in a woman. Meaning, when you hear about Mother's Day and mothers, and you see how mothers live this way and they do this and they sacrifice for their families, a lot of men spend hours and days and weeks and months trying to match up to that, to get the accolades and to get the awards. Not that you're working for it, but you are now pressured into thinking that this is what you need to do to be there. And there's so many things that we need to unpack and deal with and change the narrative, because the truth is there is a generation of men that are trying. There are men who are doing the thing. There are men that are dedicated to their families, but they're just not being highlighted. So to every man out there who feels these pressures, especially when you were grown up a certain way and you were grown up in a particular society, and you are now trying to flip the script as it relates to that. You're trying to be everything that your father or his father or all the fathers around you when you were growing up were not. And sometimes even in trying to do that, you become exactly what you dread. And I want to big you up. I want to say keep trying, keep believing, and keep doing you. You can only be the best father that you are and not what somebody else says you should be. And sometimes we try to conform to be what they say we should be. Sometimes we try to conform to being the ideal father. But you need to be the ideal father for your situation, for your circumstance. And finally, men, do not feel guilty for taking a break. I always say it, press the brakes and take a break before you break. Men, that goes for you too. You try to be a provider, you try to be a protector, you try to be a priest, and sometimes you just keep going, and you don't stop to rest or to even give yourself some self-care. We need to put, if you look at the mental health situation, the suicide rate, the mental illness affecting men, so many things that are just tearing our men down. Even in the churches, we work so hard. You be pastor, prophet, bishop, Sunday school teacher, deacon, everything. And by the time you reach home, your family is suffering. Let's refocus, change it, and then press on. Alright? Don't worry about failing. It happens. We all do. So many times I feel like a failure as a father, but I recalculate and refocus. And when I hear my kids say, Daddy, I love you, it shows that I'm doing something right. When you have a partner who tells you that you are a great dad, it shows that you're doing something right. Sometimes even if nobody's saying anything else, look in the mirror, look on yourself, and realize you are doing a great job. Do your workout, stay healthy, get your rest, sleep as is needed, sleep, rest, because you need it to go on the next day. Get yourself here Saturdays or Sundays in. Do your checks at the doctor. Do what you need to do to consistently be there for your family and for yourself. Big ups to all the fathers. Love you. See you. It's not a one-day thing. It's a life we live. Bam.
Stuff from the curves. If you had it back there and you're looking for a smile, bringing hope and joy for a day that was wild. Stuff from the cuffs is here to make things bright. In a world so dark, they're bringing some light. Stuff from the cuffs. 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 Go Bria, go Bill, go Bess, go Brian. Stuff from the cuffs. Stuff from the cuffs.